Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm back with my second video. I actually have a story time that I would like to talk to y'all about, and it is gonna be like a little long video, but it's okay because it's gonna be very interesting. Um, it's all about how I met my first prison bae, and it's been a little minute now that everything's been over with, but I guess so. You have to just stay tuned to see what happens. Um, sorry. So, I do want to not take long on starting it because, um, yeah. So, anyways, so what happened? This is how the story is gonna go. So one day, we gonna call him. We're not gonna use like real names or nothing. So, um, I'ma say, I'm gonna throw some names out. So I'm gonna just call him. I'm gonna call him Dern. So anyway, so I was one day I was just got like a little bored, and I was just sitting, sitting on the couch just scrolling. Like I was so bored, and I'm like, I heard everybody talking about, the prison guys, the prison website and all that. So I decided that, okay, let me go on there and look, and I was just playing around actually. And I actually seen somebody that I could possibly like. So I was going by looks. I was making sure that, they didn't have like, there was no murder or whatever, pedophile, none of that. I was making sure that. And that they didn't have life. And so also, which was very important. So anyway, so I decided to go on the website, and I found two people. So if you've ever been on that site, then you would know that if you meet two people, then you're only allowed to write one. So between the two people, I chose one. So I'm like, I'm gonna write to him. This person ain't gonna write me back. They ain't gonna pay me no attention, for real. So, but I was very attracted to him, very, and he was. I mean, he's a little bit older than me, not too much older, and so I just went on about my life, and then I decided to I started just going about my life. I wrote him and stuff. And then one day, a little time goes by, I think about a month or two, little time goes by, and he writes me back. And I was like, whoa. And then, I had gave him my number actually in the message, and I also got a phone call. So we started to talk and everything just started going good. And then so it was like a few months later, I had put in a visit form. Well, I had put in a visit form, and then it came back that I was approved. And I was just so happy because we had been talking for about a year before I even got to see him. And so, anyways, so I was like, okay, I went into it like thinking like, hey, he just gonna be a friend. We're gonna be cool. But it ended up more than that, more than I thought. So anyway, so it comes out to be like my first visit. So during that first visit, I was so nervous. I actually went by myself. I had to drive through the mountains. I had to do I had to make so many stops because I was not used to like being on the road like that. Like it was, and then when I got to the place, it was just like mountains everywhere. It was just a lot. So, but I was just, I was just excited just to see him. So anyway, so when I first got to the place, like I stayed in the car for like a little bit, and then it's like you had to make sure, everything's okay, from your shirt to, you can't have clips in your hair if you got a wig on. You can't, it was just a lot of things. Your jewelry, sometimes you can't get through if you got a certain, like if you spray some perfume on you and you got a certain like scent on you and they put that detector on you and it don't pass, then you can't, no matter, I've just seen that. I've seen people take their wigs off, cut the clips out. I've seen people, it's just been a lot that I've seen, and that I never thought that, never thought. So anyway, so I goes to my first visit, and it was like really, it was really nerve-wracking. I was so nervous. Like, this is somebody I've never met before in my life. And I mean, the prison was, it was just, I don't know what I expected it to be, but I was so overwhelmed. And it was other girls there too that, that had been there and kept going and stuff like that. So I just talked to them a little bit, and they kind of like put me at ease. Like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So I started to calm down. So, as I'm getting closer and closer, and then when you go in there, you gotta like stand in the line, like people's in the line, after you, get scanned and all that a couple times. So anyways, you get scanned a couple times, stamp on your arm, all that. So anyways, I get there closer and closer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the line. And then basically what they do is they'll seat you where they want you to sit. And at this time we were not, at this time we wasn't allowed to touch or nothing like that. So, me and him, literally, our first visit, like, you had to talk behind the glass. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, it's so nerve-wracking because you have to talk, like, you have to talk loud, but, you really can't hear nobody through the glass. You can only, do so much, say so much. So anyways, like, yeah, a visit like that. So we talked or whatever, and the visit, like, kind of went good. And, I said kind of, it actually did go good. Like, 'cause once we started talking, because we had been talking for like a year, and so we were like getting comfortable with each other, but we just ain't seen each other face to face. So anyway, we were just still like excited, like he was excited, I was excited to get to know each other. And the visit was about during the time that visit was like 8 hours long. So we couldn't have nothing to drink. I couldn't have nothing to, well, I could have something to drink, but I had to go to the vending machine and drink it in front of him, and then he couldn't have nothing. So it just didn't really feel right to me. So anyways, so I just sat there and like suffered. I was thirsty and all of that. So, only thing, I would get up and go to the bathroom, or, and he would go to the bathroom, and like, we just let the time try to like pass by. So we had like so much stuff to talk about, catch up on, get to know each other all around. So after this 8-hour visit, I was like, oh my gosh, I literally have to go back home. So me going back home was just tough because I was so tired. And I had left at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning just to make it there on time. And it literally took me 5 hours, and and then I had to turn around and sit for 8-hour visit. That was a lot. So anyways, when I got out of the visit, I was really happy because I was so happy to meet him. And I finally went to the car, and I'm like, I'm about to rest my eyes. Like, it was like, I was so tired. Like, I'm just like, this is so much. And it's like, next time I'm bringing somebody with me because this is just too much in one day. So I'm like, okay, if I want to deal with him, this is what I'm gonna have to deal with. So, anyways, so I going home, it wasn't too bad. And then so I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking down at my paper. So like going is not like I'm sorry, I messed up. So let me see. So basically me going home, and then I went, and then I thought, and I was just thinking about it. On my way home, he called numerous times, like check up on me, because I'm telling you, them mountains are not no joke at all. Like, going in the mountains is just the scariest thing for me. So anyways, and I was trying to, at the time I was trying to beat the dark, because you do not want to be in the dark in the mountains. You think you scared during the daytime. It's even worse at night. You can't see nothing. So anyways, I finally made it home, and as soon as I got home, he actually called again, and he was like, hey, babe, I enjoyed our visit, woo 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 woo. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I was just so happy. I was on cloud nine. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna deal with this. Like, this is gonna be my boo. This is gonna be, So I was just so excited at the beginning. So anyway, so time kept going by and by and by. So here we go to, we're gonna skip to, we went to, so he stayed at this facility for almost, before I met him, he stayed at one facility for a year. He had been at the facility for a year or two. And then the next one that he went to, he stayed there for about 3 years. And then he went to one to where he stayed. He went to one that I know he's in now. He been there for a while now. So anyways, and that's actually a good thing. So, but it's still far. So it took him from closer to farther. So anyways, so everything's going good or whatever. I'm just on cloud nine. We like writing back and forth, talking almost every day. Like, it was a lot. So I'm like, well, this can work, and then, I'm still living my life, but I'm actually with somebody. So we actually, made it official. Probably like, it was like, maybe it went pretty fast. So it was like a month after visit, after that first visit. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we gonna do this. So anyways, I was like really excited, and sorry y'all. So anyways, things going along, and then, here goes another visit. Here goes another phone call, visit. Then here comes the part where you have to be ready for. So then the financial comes into play. So me and him have been talking, going on now. This is like, we 2 years, almost 3 years in, so we talking. And then here comes the financial. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I was not ready for this. So here come the financial. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I just got like, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this. I can do this. It ain't gonna be that bad. So I just kept like, oh, it's, he's gonna need this and this and that. So I just rearranged stuff around, what he needed and all that. And then, but then it started to always be something. Like, it was always something. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, like, and here I am in the real world, and I have a man in prison, and he's needing things like all the time. And it's like every time you turn around, it was something. So basically, I just was keeping up. Like, it was just a lot, like a lot. So I just was like, okay, I can do this. I was just taking it day at a time, day at a time. So I was just like kind of keeping it to myself because, it started to weigh on me pretty well. So, um, then so, and I dealt with this for about at least about I could say I dealt with this probably for about, yeah, it was up for 4 years, 5 years. I was dealing with this. And then I'm like, okay, like, I'm trying to keep up all this time and I'm ignoring like, my needs, what I need and all that type of stuff. And like, I have no kids or nothing, but I'm just saying I have to still live too. So, it got kind of like, it was just starting to weigh on me. And then like, and then the other part that they really don't, well, some people, and, talk about it, but, it was the loneliness. Like, it just started to be like, oh my goodness. Like, and then it's like, I started to learn the loneliness came in when I learned really about lockdowns and how often they were. Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's lockdown after lockdown after lockdown. I was like, oh, we're not talking. So anyways, it was like, let me get back to it. So it was like lockdown after lockdown after lockdown. And I'm like, oh, the loneliness, like, it was just getting to me. Cause I was like used to, him always calling, him always texting me right back. Like, it was this, it started out so good. And then everything just hit me all at one time. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know if I can really deal with this any longer. So I met my homegirl during this journey. They called it the prison wife community. I met her during the journey, and we still cool to this day. And she rocks with somebody too. And so I mean, it was just a lot. So anyways, let me get back to the story. So anyways, just everything collectively was coming down on me. So I happened to go to a visit one day, and just to me, I was just feeling like things was not the same, like, between us. Like, it did not feel the same. It didn't, like, it's like he wasn't excited, or, it was just a lot. And I'm just like, well, I'm like, well, how you doing? And it was like small talk. And it was just like, it was a feeling like something's wrong, like, here. Like, he ain't feeling me no more, or something's really wrong. So, anyways, I decided to go with the visit, go with the flow. Cause I'm like, I didn't drive for nothing. So I went with the flow. So I'm like, okay, so anyways, come to find out, it was some stuff going on in there, and he blamed it on that. And, he was just saying that, he's been stressed out and all that type of stuff. So I just try to, like, all right, I'm just going to chill, cause maybe he is going through a lot of stuff. So anyways, I was on my way home from a visit, and I was just thinking really, really hard. And it's like everything just hit me all at once, and was like, really, Nay, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. And then it was just like, when it comes to the, it's just like, when it comes to, when I was coming down there and everything, things just started being funny. So anyway, so I was just thinking to myself the whole way home, like, what are you doing? Like, you have dealt with this all these years. And that's because, I'm going to place the blame on me because I chose to do that. Like, nobody told me to get on the site. Nobody told me to reach out to the man. Nobody told me to do that. So that was partly my fault. But anyways, so what happened was I actually was at home and I was like expecting a text or something like I usually do. And I did not get that. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get a text. I didn't get anything. And then so I'm like, well, maybe they went on lockdown. So I calls like one of my homegirls, whatever. She was like, yeah, girl, they went on lockdown. My dude went on lockdown too. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So I'm like letting it go. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, maybe he just wasn't able to call. And then I'm like, okay, he went on lockdown. And then when I talked to her already, I had talked to her again, like, maybe like 3 days later, and she's like, they came off a lockdown. I was like, cause I was asking her questions. I was like, are they off lockdown yet? She was like, yeah, my dude called me. And I was like, well, how many times have you talked to him? She was like, girl, I didn't talk to him about 3-4 times. And I'm like, what? So then anyways, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe he ain't got to the phone because, I'm just making excuses. I'm like, well, because she was asking me, he ain't called you? And I'm like, nah. So I'm like, okay, maybe he can't get to the phone right now. So I asked her to ask her dude, because they was in the same, same part of the prison together. So I asked her to ask him, when do he plan on calling? Cause I'm like, has he not got to the phone or what? So anyway, so when her dude calls, she reached out to him. I mean, her dude said something to my guy. So she said, well, I'm gonna let he said I'm gonna let him know, and he said he's gonna call you. So I'm like, okay, so I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting again. And then he didn't call, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till the next day in the morning. So I'm like, okay, so I wait till like in the morning time, and I'm like, I finally get a call. So I'm like, okay, well, it's cool. Like, I got a call, and I'm like, hey, you doing okay? He was like, yeah. He was like, he just keeps telling me he got stuff on his mind. He's stressed. He didn't, he really didn't feel like being on the phone, all of that. So I'm like, okay, cool. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was just like forcing it, because I'm like, I can't do this no more. Like, it's mentally draining. So anyways, and then when you're driving, it's physically draining. So anyways, me and him, I decided to, like, I was like, next visit, I'm just going to tell him face to face. Like, I can't do this no more. So I went like one more visit. So when I had went like one more visit, I was like really, really nervous. So, I said, well, I'm going to tell him at this visit, like, I can't do this no more. And, we can be friends, cause he always told me to be, completely honest with him. And I couldn't hold it back no longer from, being honest. So I just let him know. I said, basically, we kind of agreed on it. Like, we agreed on it or whatever. So, that was good. And I just was like, just felt like a big relief off of my shoulders. Like, it was a big relief. And FYI, if you are going to mess with someone that is in prison, your pockets better be right. Like, For real. Like, it's gonna really hit you. If you ain't ready, it's gonna hit you. Like, cause in prison, they always need something. I don't care what it is. They always need something. And like, some girls are lucky to have somebody to take care of them and stuff like that. But in my case, no, that wasn't it. So anyways, so it's, I mean, and you know, yeah, that wasn't it. So anyways, we, after that visit, I just felt like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. And then I just went to go eat. On my way, you know, coming back, it's like a couple of the girls, they was eating and stuff like that. And, you know, just a couple girls that then, you know, we seen, you know, and know, you know, within this journey, you know, that all they do is in the same thing. But, you know, you don't want to do that either. You want to try to keep everything to yourself, because you do not want to get in a prison wife community. You don't want to get in a prison girl community. You don't want to be a girlfriend, a wife. Like, you don't want none of that. For real, you don't. And it's really weighs on a person really, really heavy. Like, I've seen and heard everything that I never thought I would hear. And even on the internet, like, it's just a lot. So, and I just don't recommend nobody deal with this. Nobody deal with that. So anyways, I was like, after this had happened or whatever, we had all like chit chat and stuff, and we was all sitting down, you know, I just give small talk. I have learned my lesson. Like, I give small talk. Like, I'm not getting ready to run my business to you, and then you go run it to your guy, and then my guy, and then they talking about, like, no, that's the first thing they do. If you run it to them, they gonna run it to their guys, to their guy in prison. And that's just crazy weird. And it's also, let me say this, let me stop. It's always like a competition. Like, I've never in my life, like, I'm not worried about what the next person got on. I don't care about what the person drive. I don't care about none of that. But in that community, it goes on. Like, oh, you know, you got to wear this and this and that and visit. Like, I'm not paying attention to none of that. Like, this is crazy. And I learned that, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, for real? Like, is this a lot? It's a lot. And you just need to keep to yourself. So anyways, make a long story short, anyways, get back to the story. So, basically, you know, I get in the, you know, after I had the last, you know, went to the last visit or whatever, I just felt, you know, I didn't tell nobody what was going on. I'm just listening to them and eating and stuff. I'm not really saying nothing. So, a couple of girls, like, you know, we got kind of close, but they wanted to take pictures. So, we took pictures like outside or whatever like that. But, anyways, I moved on, with my life, and, I was going home or whatever. And, he did text me, like, I got a text the next day, be like, are you serious? You sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Like, we could stay friends, we could stay cool, but I can't do this anymore. So, really, all my phone calls stopped. All my messages stopped. I was paying for the messages. Like, I was paying for the message service, and all my messages just stopped. Like, are you for real? Like, all my messages just stopped. So then, he got to go to another prison, a lower prison at that. So anyways, like I was telling you earlier, like, he's in a lower prison. So, anyways, so now he goes to a lower prison, and then I hadn't heard, I get one text, and that was actually asking me for something. So I'm like, no, like, Really? Like, you can't call, you don't do none of that, but you can text and ask me for something. And I'm like, no, this is not about to happen. So, anyways, I just ignored it and I'm like, I hope you good. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. So that started to be like my favorite words. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. So I started to like, things started to like look up for me because financially it was like really draining, and I kept putting a lot of stuff off that I shouldn't have put off. So anyways, and then, and you know, another reason it was like hard for me because it was like a little hard for me because I did not really tell anybody in my family. And that was really hard, you know, because, you know, I didn't know how they would feel about him and stuff like that. Like, I didn't know, I didn't know how, you know, they would feel about him and stuff like that. And then when I started to open up to a couple people that I could open up to, they had really, you know, they had really terrible things to say. But I was giving this person the benefit of the doubt, making him look good, all of that. And let me be honest, he wasn't a bad guy. It was just something that I could not take anymore because it was just like, it's draining. So anyways, to make a long, yeah. So anyways, I couldn't take it. So anyways, it was just like, I took some time to myself to figure out me, to help me, you know, and all of that. And like, I wanted to be cool with them, all of that. But that seems like easier said than done, that they say. Because I was starting to feel like if you don't give a person, if you're not giving, they not, you know, I kept kind of feeling like used. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if, you know, if I give him something, he's gonna continue to talk to me. You know, I gotta continue to be there for him, and that's not the case. You know, if you want to talk to me, you're gonna talk to me for me. Yeah. So, anyways, the struggle was real. Anyways, so I did get close to his family within those years. Like, I got close to his family, but so they knew who I was and all of that. And let me say this, it's called MWI. So I was met, you know, it was a met while incarcerated. That's what it's called. So that's what I was labeled as. And so his family was pretty cool. Like, you know, didn't really have no problems with them at all. Until, you know, like the mama, she started like, you know, I mean, mamas is gonna be mamas. So she just started like, you know, really tripping, and I wasn't understanding why she would trip all the time and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of it. It's not my responsibility, because I would always like check on her because she had a lot of, you know, health conditions and stuff. So I would always check on her. And it got to a point to where it's not my place to keep doing that. And then you know, she would ignore my calls and stuff like that. So I try to be, you know, a good person too at the same time, on keeping him up to date with his mom and stuff like that. So the brothers knew me also. The daughter know me, and he met his grandbaby during this process. So anyway, so anyways, y'all, so to continue with the story. So I was going on with my life, and sorry y'all, but anyways, I don't even know where I left off at. But So anyways, so with the family thing, like, you know, I kept feeling like it was my responsibility to um you know, check on her, but you know, that wasn't my responsibility either. So I like broke all ties. So anyways, what happened was I just went on about my life, and then I wasn't hearing from him no more, and that was good. And so yeah, I wasn't hearing from him no more, and I want to make sure I didn't forget nothing out of my, you know. So anyways, I wasn't hearing from him no more. So it took me, I was like a month after month after month. So finally, I don't know, someone in the family decided to text me and see how I was doing. So I knew a lot of the family or whatever, but you know, I'm pretty sure they had heard about our breakup by now. Like, you know, so anyways, yeah, so I just, you know, I just text back like, hey, I'm doing fine, you know. So anyways, I kept texting this particular family member. And so, actually caught feelings for this family member. And I was just happy about it. Like happy. And like I was on cloud nine because I didn't know that they was feeling like this, and at first I was like, oh, this ain't right. This ain't right. But I never, you know, I never thought it would, you know, go anywhere or nothing. It really yeah, I didn't think it would go nowhere. But anyways, yeah, so I decided to actually keep talking to this person. And come to find out, as I kept talking to this person, y'all know what happened? Y'all know who the person was? The person was his brother that I fell in love with. So if you want to hear the next part of the story, then just comment down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if y'all want to hear about it, then I will make another video on it. Have a good day.